Good morning and Jai Shri Krishna. Welcome to. Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Perfect. You can. I can. That is not the issue. Okay. So, with a very diversified industries, you have the perfect into the accounts HR. So, can you just share a small brief what kind of stuff you are doing in the situation?
Uh, Let me adjust audio. Yeah, tell me again what kind
Yes,
of.
sir. Please. What kind of opportunities you have logged in the COVID situation?
in, in the COVID situation. What? I'm still not getting your question. Sorry, some.
Basically, yeah, not the issue. In this particular COVID scenario, how you have utilized your own time?
During the COVID period.
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I have a um, businesses which allows me to work mostly from home. So for me, work from home is not an issue at all. I'm used to it, and um, with most of the clients and the business associates, we are on all kind of technology platforms like Zoom, GoToMeetings, and first time I'm doing with the StreamYard, for example. So we do those kind of
Right, sir.
web-based applications in a business. So my business in IT services continues with the US clients. I'm in the investment banking. So we are right now working on the right issue of a very large company and a couple of other small companies. And in a consulting area, right now there is a kind of the bit of a lullness. Things are not moving because everybody is saying let the COVID be over and then we will decide what to do and how to go
Right.
about it.
Everyone stands.
Yeah. So that's
Correct.
what I do, and I spend a lot of time in
Perfect.
reading and exercising and kind of things.
Right. Thank you, sir. So, going
Okay.
further, I'll just take the formal working scenario. Jai Shri Krishna to all viewers and good morning. Being a member of KCBF is like having a whole team of salespeople working for you. KCBF is a platform of, for, and by Khadaitas who are spread across the globe. KCBF is a business and professional networking organization that allows only Khadaitas to join the organization. The sole purpose is to give its member more business. It's based on the mission connect, communicate, and conduct. It is to support each other to develop, initiate, provide services from our community members. KCBF is only a legally constituted organization working for Khadaitas on the business front, currently having 2000 plus members through digital platform and life members are 250, making the business of rupees 1.5 crore in the last 3 years. Khadaitas are joined through different WhatsApp groups such as Mumbai members 1 and 2, life members, CAs, teachers and informative groups. We have our own portal www.khadaitabbusinessnetwork.com, yellow pages for Khadaitas. Members of KCBF have entrusted the organization in such a way that it's being launched across the globe in the form of chapters, generating more business amongst Khadaitas. Kindly like, share, and subscribe to our KCBF channel. Further, I would like to welcome Kamlesh Bhai for today's webinar. Kamlesh Bhai, before taking over the screen, I would give a brief introduction about him. He is really a renowned personality in the world of corporates. He started his amazing career in the year 1979, which MNC, then escalating towards Novartis, moving towards Rolta as an executive director. He has started practicing accounts with the three verticals: finance, marketing, and HR. He is currently working as a director in merchant banking. He has the awesome experience and a plethora of the knowledge for pharma, pesticides, FMCG, fintech, and Nova. He is really amazing personality. We are really happy, Kamlesh bhai, to have you on our platform. Thank you. And altogether, please share your expertise advice to our viewers. You are free. Thank you, sir. Please.
Thank you. So let's start.
Yes, sir.
Hardik,
Yes, sir.
I'll
Please,
share
please.
the I share the screen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can. Yeah, you can just share the screen. Yes, sir.
Okay, friends. Uh, Hardik gave a small introduction, and now I will be talking for about 40-45 minutes. The theme of the subject is during this lockdown caused by COVID, not in India only, but across the world, and what's its impact on businesses, in particular to small businesses, and what's the way to get back to a profitable growth. So this is the real challenging part of that. So I would be sharing my thoughts and my perspectives and my ideas about the whole subject matter. I have worked in many different kind of business sectors. He mentioned some, so I worked in pharmaceuticals, uh, either as a job or as my clients. So pharmaceuticals, FMCG, scientific glass, fast food, restaurants, auto ancillaries, fintech company, you name it, different kind of organizations. And my focus is largely on a small company, so I can understand and relate to the issues and challenges faced by the small business enterprises. Guys, am I audible, Hardik? Hardik, hello.
Yes, sir. You are very much audible. You can take ahead.
Okay. So I just want to test. So let's move on. So there are three key items of an agenda which I will talk. One is what's the economic situation as of now in the country? What are the unique challenges faced by the SME companies? And what's the way to get through and come back to a very profitable business that for the SME businesses. So this is what the three buckets in which the whole talk has been designed. When we talk about economic situation, we need to get a little understanding of what was before the COVID lockdown, what happened during a lockdown, and what is the post lockdown when things are beginning to be lifted. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Most of you read or listen to or get the information, but just a kind of an overview at a glance is very important to set the whole scene about it topic. We all know that for a variety of reasons, the GDP growth was declining even before the COVID lockdown. Quite many economic indicators were weak. Industry as a whole was facing a serious problem of capacity utilization, just 70%. There was a weakness in the consumer demand. A kind of unemployment was happening, and most particularly the financial sector was in a quite a bit of a stress at that point in time in a March. So in a March quarter, we had seen the all companies. This is the listed company data I have, where their revenue growth was declining and even the profits were declining. You can see it on the right hand side, and this is the revenue decline. Now, there is a breakup between all company and financial uh, companies, but that's not relevant. The point is, we had some kind of a problem in the economy before the lockdown began to happen. So, what really happened is that a weak economy entered into a lockdown and it making it a lot weaker during a lockdown period. There are green shoots, and I will talk about it. So, what happened during the lockdown is certainly everything was stopped. They were, except I would say the essential goods and commodities, most of the businesses were in a serious difficulty and completely stopped. Apart from businesses, there was this problem of a supply chain. So, like if you have a factory and if your supplier is in a one zone, which could be red zone, but you could be in a green zone, you can't still operate. Or if your distributor is in a different zone, so either the supply chain or a distribution channel, both were disrupted. We all know the stories of migrant labor and what happened for whatever the reasons. And some businesses, take examples of restaurants business, take tourism, the tours and travel advisory services, even the banquet functions, the wedding planners. So some of the businesses, like somebody was saying that even the people who supply the paper napkins in the wedding ceremonies and parties, they were badly hit. And many of these businesses were run by the small businessmen. So this is what happened during a lockdown, and NBFC means non-banking financial company. They came under a stress, and this is a particularly important from the small businesses point of view because many small businesses do borrow from the NBFC companies because some majority of the banks are either reluctant to give the enough loan to the SME sector, or some of the private banks were simply not interested. They would do something so as not to be scolded by the government or a ministry, but they were not interested. So, loan and interest moratorium was introduced by the government, but in my opinion, it will build more stress into the whole system. Globally, most of the economies have gone very badly. So we are it is being talked that a global economy in the current financial year could contract by 5%. The worldwide economy is roughly 80 trillion to 90 trillion dollars. That can come down. India is not an exception. We all know what happened in quarter one, that is April, May, June, which was largely a lockdown period. And we also understand that quarter two, uh, there were restrictions lifted, economy was coming back, but it is still not at a normal stage, so we would be uh, having some contraction. It is expected that in the current whole year, the Indian economy can suffer by around 10%. Now, this is unusual, and as the finance minister said, it's a kind of an act of God. Unfortunate, once in a lifetime situation. But what happened are the issues which we will go through and learn. Post lockdown, it is taking a longer time to normalize the business activities. In some businesses, it is taking a shorter time. They are bouncing back. In some businesses, it is taking a longer time. And I would give some examples as we go through. Most importantly, the entire industry landscape is changing. Consumer behavior is changing. The biggest beneficiary, in my opinion, in all these things are the two industries. One is the supply chain industries. Everything is home delivery concept. Everything literally. So that is where the supply chain companies in the from the big to small startups. I'm sure some of you might have heard about a small company called VFast. VFast is delivering uh, any kind of a parcel, any kind of a document. You want to send your cert to somebody, you want to send your medicine, you want to send a food, they'll come pick it up from your home and deliver anywhere in Mumbai. Very fast, very quick, economical. So the landscape is changing, and there are some people who really seize an opportunity to doing this kind of business in this environment. And digital payment, we all know, has phenomenally grown. It was growing since demonetization happened, but in this period, it has grown fantastic. Everybody is literally doing some kind of a digital business, because otherwise you exchange cash and you are worried of touching the people and sanitizing currency notes. Some people started doing all that. So that's not something that's very interesting in my opinion how it happened. Consumer behavior has changed, and I have a full slide to talk about it, how the consumer behavior is changing. We all are consumers, and we have changed our behavior in every aspect. So I'll talk about that. The point is, the post lockdown, it is not going to be a linear progression of the business as it was, say, in a March 20. It is not that in a one day there may be a vaccine or there may be a completely eradication of the this virus in the country and everything will be back to the same as it was in March 20. No, there is no linear progression. So every business has to be on a redesign model. Redesign in many sense, and we will talk about it. There are companies, large companies, they are all, and even some small companies. The focus is in this period, uh, rather than focusing on a profit and loss, focus on your balance sheet and deleveraging in a sense of how much debt I can really reduce it. Because that is a critical point to survive. And as I say, there is no linear progression. The history is of very little value, absolutely no value. Now, unfortunately, what happens is that the larger the company, the impact on a business is smaller. So if you see at the right hand corner, the companies above 500 crore size, the business is impacted only by 22%. Okay, but as the company size is reducing, the impact is becoming larger and larger. And companies below 25 crore turnover, the impact is almost two-thirds, 67%. So this is where the uh, ability to survive, ability to redesign, ability to redevelop, and all the efforts and understanding goes in really trying to be exceptional out of this two-thirds of the companies. This is all listed company data, and one can imagine what could be the situation with the mm, unorganized sector and unlisted companies. So this is what had happened. Now, when I say the business cycle is damaged, So this is what it happened. We were somewhere like going along the line cruising, then suddenly we get into a pit, and then we are starting to revive. Now the big question is, depending on each business, the kind of business you're doing, how is your curve? This is something we need to, and what happens in that curve that we'll try to understand. So, if I take the FMCG company, they had a very mild impact. This is this is one. FMCG companies had a very mild impact, and it was expected that they will be able to come back very quickly into the normal situation. If you take the passenger vehicles, it is had hit the bottom, but taking a longer time compared to the FMCG companies. Airline business is, of course, everybody knows it. It's going to take a much longer. Hotels is taking a much longer. Two wheelers are quickly coming back. Now, this is an interesting phenomenon. Why two wheelers are quickly coming back? Because the people are still hesitant to travel in a public transport. So the two-wheeler business is picking up, quickly back and getting into the normal situation. And this is the telecom industry. This is a very natural. People are consuming more and more data and entertainment and every kind of thing through their mobile and devices and the computers, laptops, phones, everything. So this is the idea of this slide is that we may be not in the similar kind of a business. I do understand, but it's very important to us that we understand what is my business and how my business will look like. This is how the businesses, different businesses take size of a hit, the length of a hit, and time to recover and bounce back. So one of the point I would make is that every small business is also will have to analyze itself and understand what it is going to be. And no two businesses are identical. It is going to be different. So one take a time to put down your thoughts. You may be talking to some people and try and understand what really my own business is going to take a time to bounce back. Even consumers, some ideas we are getting that people, consumers, they had some plan pre-COVID, like a domestic travel or buying durables, but post-COVID, travel is gone. Or so there are small businesses which are engaged in, uh, I would call holiday planners or travel booking services, airline or the visas and holidays abroad. They had uh, the very serious impact on the business because nobody was traveling. Even today, people have the mm, uh, quite a bit of concern to start back their traveling. Even home renovation, people are doing a home renovation from small businesses, getting your own known architect or painter or a carpenter to do something at work. But now it's not. It's all on hold. So this is what really consumers are changing. Another one is what happening is from a consumer point of view, and I always give an example of the food industry. If you take the food industry, what happened? Previously in our in my parents' time, I would say it was a concept of home food. So you eat at home, eating out was not really much heard of it. And even if you go on a travel, you carry your home food. So you eat your food at home, and you eat home food out as well. Then the new generation, the new consumers on it, eating out became very, very popular. Okay. During this period, first eating out was really stopped, and then it is beginning to happen of you know home delivery or takeaway. So eating the outside food has beginning to recover the lost ground, but not into the restaurants at home. Now, this kind of a change is a phenomenal implication. It's an opportunity for the businesses who could design the products and a recipe. I can see somebody is posting Sunday menu in case if we have Thai menu or kind of a thing. That's a very innovative idea. So people who come with some kind of innovation will gain, but the people with the physical restaurants will have a longer time to wait and you know come back to them. Shopping, yes, same thing. People initially stop, but shopping bounce back immediately with all kind of online shopping. So not much of a downturn in a business. The only thing, sorry, the people stop going to the shops and the malls. I give you one shocking example. There is a Nalanda bookstore in Taj Hotel in Mumbai, and that Nalanda bookstore opened on 1st August. In roughly 50 days, they had done a turnover of one book. I'm just saying one book of 499 rupees. People are buying books online, or some people are buying digital books, but people are not going to the physical stores. Similarly, the clothing and all the accessories things are happening. Entertainment, we all know, theaters are completely closed. So, who was the gainer? Online entertainment providers. And mm, uh, you take the platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime, Heroes, Hotstar, they have been gaining substantially the subscribers over a period of time. So people have not been deprived of an entertainment in per se, but the delivery platform has changed, and it is not going to be 100% back to the theaters even whenever it starts and gets normalized. So the whole entertainment has changed. Health and well-being, self-care, people have become very, very conscious, and it is their primary concern now. Everybody, I sometimes joke at home that in last 6 months, number of times I washed my hands. I don't know how many years I had done that. Work from home, and the all the online webinars and this have. I had thoughts on a work from home. It is a good alternative, but I don't think it's going to be a complete substitution. So I also have my own staff. Some of the people uh, right now, everybody is on a work from home, but they would like to be back to the office if as and when it's possible. Learning education has moved online. The teachers are experiencing a very different world. It is not same as teaching the students in a classroom compared to the teaching on online. Travel and mobility, I talked about. Media, we all know how our habits have changed. I think we all got a newspaper, physical newspaper, after maybe 3, 4 months, 4 months. So our media consumption has changed. Now, this is important to understand for each of the businesses, my own business. These are the kind of a consumer behavior changes. I need to understand it, analyze it, and then see what is the impact and what changes I want to make. You will be hearing a lot in newspapers now on media and television or something. Is it going to be a V-shaped recovery? Is it going to be W-shaped recovery? W means it will recover, then again, if the next round of coronavirus happens, it will go down and then again recover. Some talked about a user. Let's leave all this to economists who themselves don't know, really speaking, what's happening and how long it will be happening. But this is the kind of a thing is going on. So, is it all gloom and doom? Is it all over for my business? Just 1 second. Huh? Not really. There is a bright light. The situation can be fixed. It can be turned around with new ways and a systematic planning. This is a very important now. This is the part I would start now. How we can do think differently and how we can plan it in a systematic manner to go back. As I said, green shoots are emerging. There is no not to be very depressed and gloomy. Whatever was to happen has happened. There are new opportunities emerging in the same business. What we one is, but doing it differently, or into the new businesses as people capture the opportunities. So there is a brighter side of the life also. Now, when I talk the SME, my this is from my years of experience of working with SMEs. I would say they have faced largely three challenges. This is the one is the finance, money, of course, is the biggest challenge. Second is the marketing and sales, and third is organization and management. Uh, I put it in the order, and there is a logic behind it. The SME businesses do give a lot of focus to finance, very little focus to marketing, and large focus to sales, and sometimes ignore the organization and management part. This is my experience, so we will share some thoughts. In finance area, uh, many businesses are B2B. When I say B2B is a business to business. It's not consumer facing. You are producing something, making something for some another big company, supplying them product. So you are insulated from a end consumer. But when you do B2B, uh, it has its own challenges. The large companies have a bad habit of squeezing the small suppliers. And the largest company in India has a very bad habit of squeezing the suppliers' payment terms. So your working capital goes very long and your margins are really squeezed out. So this is what happens in the businesses if you are supplying to a larger companies. Business to consumer is a different challenge. Of course, you can enjoy the high margin, but there's always a high spend on marketing parts and brand building. That is a very critical issue, which largely the smaller companies, in my experience, are not in a position to do that. It's a tough job. One of my observation and experience is that even I am a small businessman today at this age in life. As we grow and as we make a decent amount of money, often we leave uh, not much of a money for further growth into the company. Our own consumption in a various form increases, so we normally pull out the profit for either a personal asset or a personal consumption. So I have seen many of my clients and many other companies also in a small industry that the surplus money in the company is is often negligible or not enough to invest for the future growth of the company. So when the future growth comes, it's normally financed through the debt financing of a various different nature. Now, some of you could be different and may have a good practices, but this is my experience uh, of practicing and talking and meeting a lot of small companies. I'm not casting aspersions on the people. I'm a businessman. I also would like to pull out money from my own assets or the consumption. In a young age, this always happens. It's a natural human tendency. But I'm just making a point that this tendency often doesn't leave enough money for financing the growth. In marketing and sales, I did say that mostly it's a B2B business model, and therefore, if your customer, the company is going to suffer, you would suffer. And the larger companies, uh, the we sometimes think that there is a relationship I build with a big company, or there is a loyalty I cultivate over the period of time. I have worked in a big companies in my life, like in Novartis, Johnson and Johnson, and Rolls. The managers and the people change who are the decision makers in buying, and you may be back to square one again to build the relationship and a loyalty, whatever you call, with the people. So it is a different game when there are smaller businesses run by the owners and each one is building kind of a relationship. But if you are going to supply, if you are supplying to a very large company, then that company don't have either a owner or they have a people who could be changing, quite frequently. So that's a different game, and it's not very easy for getting into the large company business buying processes. As I said, in a B2C, uh, unfortunately, the distinction between a sale and a marketing is often not understood, and it gets confused. What is sales and what is marketing? And at the end result is that more money and more effort goes in putting a sales channel, but much less on the marketing side. And this is not a marketing lecture, besides I'm not going to talk about it. So there is an investment in the branding, and marketing activities are generally at a lower level. I can tell you that in B2C businesses, I have worked in the FMCG companies, the marketing spends can be 20% of your sales. And if you're launching a new product, it would be 150, 200% of your sales. And it takes 3 to 5 years to be profitable on that particular product. So it takes uh, quite a bit of mm, investment in terms of the uh, people resources and the money to be invested. Well, this is my favorite question. What's your playground? So, in which businesses I'm playing today? And has that playground got a different size and shape now after this COVID lockdown? Has the landscape changed? Probably yes, it has changed. So, my business landscape, who are the competitors have been gone out of a business, who are the competitors remaining, has the product portfolio has changed, shifted, are there a different kind of services? So I need to understand my industry and my playground to redefine my own business. And the least important subject, which normally the SME would be not bothered about it. Reasons are plenty, because when we are small, we cannot afford the kind of expertise, knowledge, and professionals which we need. So there is limitations in terms of size, in terms of resources for the bandwidth of knowledge and expertise and kind of an experience. And Smaller the business is, it's individual driven. It's not a process driven, and there is no system orientation. It's me. I am a small businessman. It's me who is doing probably everything and anything. It's me who's probably deciding everything and anything, and I assume I know everything. I am a small businessman. So the decision making gets concentrated. Even if you have a team, most of often the empowerment means leaving your team, some senior people who are working with you for years, or even I would say in a family business, to the grown up children, leaving them to take the decisions and be running a business. Uh, it- it's not very easy. It takes time to get into that. Now, in this period, when businesses were shut down, people were not coming, your work for workers or staff, we need to reassure them some kind of a communication, whether it is a verbal or a writing, all has to go out to everybody. Okay, what are we planning to do? Let them not remain in the dark and under any kind of a misunderstanding about the future of the business and the job. Unfortunate thing what happened with the migrant labor was because there was no clarity and suddenly things happened and there was no kind of a reassurance. So that was the kind of an event happened. So few of the challenges post lockdown. Let's face few facts and admit it. There would be a rare exceptional person that can say that look, I have no impact. So I use a coronavirus language. You cannot mask the fact that your business is not doing well. આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં એમ કે તમાચો મારીને ગાલ રાખ ઠીક છે, we may not admit, we may not, but let's recognize and understand for your own self and your own good. There is no sanitizer which can wash away your losses and problems. So uh, I'm using the language of the coronavirus. A vaccine will not suddenly take your business to what it used to be. So, mask can help in a health, but if you mask the fact about your business, it won't help. Sanitizers can help in a health point of view, safety, but it won't help you in a business if it doesn't work very easily. Vaccine far away, you cannot reverse the time. 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is gone. And we can't repeat what we used to do. I have been consistently making this message. World has changed completely upside down. It's topsy turvy. It is not going to be the same. So, few of the points and questions which one needs to address himself in a finance area. Do I have to incur? I go from right to left in the boxes. Do I need to incur additional cost for restarting the business operations? Think about it. Make an assessment. Do I need to incur a cost for employees to work from home? If your people are working from home, you may have to provide the technology support. Uh, there are also instances when if you have your key person, engineer or somebody working with you, and I know some a small businessman, his key engineer is living in Mira Road, and his office is in South Mumbai. So what does he do? There are no trains, nothing. He is incurring 50,000 rupees traveling cost for that engineer to be in office every day. He has to reimburse. So this is the kind of a cost which can happen. Work from home, I mentioned. Mm, you would have to take some measures for safety and health in your workplace, in your factory, in the and for your people also. So, what is the additional cost? You may be in a need for additional borrowing, and nothing bad about it. Are you? The government has announced the scheme of borrowing moratorium. Are you? One may be tempted. So, are you thinking of doing that? Borrowing moratorium. As a finance man, I always advise and tell people, if you can't repay today, make sure that you can repay after 6 months or 1 year. It's not going to be easy. So I advise people a caution, or rather, I discourage them. Profitability of a business in a new shape, in a new model, considering all of these factors. What is going to be my cash flow in the future? Because I need to make sure that I, if I have taken a moratorium, I can repay. If I take an additional borrowing, I can repay. What is going to be the new profit structure after everything settles down? And of course, these are the kind of a few things we work out. My break-even analysis, what capacity I'll be working when I can start making profit with the new products, new services, and the new cost structure. So this is the finance-related questions which one addresses. In marketing and sales, can I continue the business same before with the same products? Is there a change in the business model, product services? We talked about it. Another point comes up is that can I continue to charge the same prices to my customers as before? There are no ready answers to these questions, but these are the kind of questions which one has to go deeply within own business. Did my consumers find alternate supply? And this has happened in many businesses. I'll give you self experience. For example, my wife used to like and go in the market and buy fruits and vegetables and all the essential things. She loves to go to the market. Coronavirus lockdown, so there was no option but to turn to online delivery. So started using a big basket, and there are a couple of other things, Frazo and few more. Now, when the lockdown will be completely lifted, the life will be normal. Will she continue with big basket, or will she stop completely? You don't know. Similarly, things are happening every product, every retailer, and everybody. There are alternate supply points, supply things, and will they come back to you? We don't know. You think about it. Or sometime, did your consumers find an alternative product by itself? If you are consuming a one kind of a thing and because it's not available very easily, eh, what do you do now? You are you were forced, really speaking, in circumstances to consume different product. Have they found it? And even if our consumers come back, will they buy in the same quantity and volume? Same another question. Will they pay the same price? I talked about here's your playground change. So these are the kind of questions one needs to go into his own business. Like I tell you frankly, some of my consulting work is in a hold. Client says, Kamesh bhai, we will see after the life becomes normal. We don't know when. Some of our investment banking clients had put it on hold. Will it be resumed back? We don't know. So the my consumers coming back in the same volume with for the same product and willing to save the price even after 6 months, one doesn't know. Make your own assessment, transform your business model, and digital is a way to go. Accept it. There is a no option, and or a lot of digital marketing and social media will have to be done. There is a saying in marketing that maintain a physical distance but not a social distance. We all are talking to friends and relatives. Everybody is now on a Zoom meeting, maybe every alternate day with the friends in this group and that group. So that we have maintained a physical distance but not a social distance. One has to do the same thing with your customers, your suppliers, your business associates, and your people. Be in a constant touch with the technology. People say, friend, although I said that it is given a least importance, but it's very important for the business point of view. Are you in a position to retain your key important employees? There are industries where even some of the senior people, in the finance industry, when they can't go to the work, some of them have gone to the hometown. Now, after 3 months, 6 months, God knows when they come back and whether they'll join back. One doesn't know. So, are you in a position to retain? You have to put in place some engagement program for your people in revival of a business. Communication, I talked about it. What is the status right now and what is the road ahead? What is the road ahead? Talk to them, explain them. Wherever possible, working from home. There are challenges, as I say, but a lot of big companies do. And some companies very proudly announce it that they will make work from home a larger part of their workforce and reduce the real estate thing. My view is different. It's not going to be a significant part. Some kind of retraining, take people with you, hand holding through with you, go through the entire change management. You be resilient, adaptive, and flexible, and help people also to be in a new businesses. This also offers a unique opportunity. Sometimes you have people who are working with us for quite a long period. They are not very efficient or a factory, or they don't have the skills in the new business world. But we have a emotional connection. We don't, like big companies do it, lay off or let them go. This can offer you an opportunity for hiring a new talent and optimizing your workforce with the new skills and the new um, salary levels. That also is possible. So this is what I say. This is the whole uh, problem of a money, the size of a money which we have lost, and then we have to get back and plan it out. How do we do it? In the finance area, the capital is the most important thing in this period. Try to optimize and minimize your working capital wherever it is possible. How to do it, etc., can be itself be a whole session about it. You know, but I'll just make a general point here. I would say that don't plan any capacity expansion in this period immediately. And even if you do it carefully. If you are selling a business worth 1 crore today, don't expand your capacity to 5 crore tomorrow. It takes time, and then when the capacity is not used, there is a cost which becomes a burden on a business. So any investment you do, whether in the working capital or the capacity, it must be profitable. Otherwise, don't do it. Now, all this can run into your mind, but I would always recommend get bit systematic and organized and do the work. Focus on the three factors. One, operating margin. Two, what's your current debt level and servicing? And three, how much the restoration capital you will need to be back into the business. Operating margin, this is simple. If your margin is at a very low level, 5%, 10%, 20, 25% higher, or even 50%, that has a huge impact based on your fixed cost, at what level you will make money and at what level you need to use your capacities and your business to grow. Now, this situation is likely to have change in the post lockdown period because your business model is changing and business structure is changing, your industry is changing. So, do this analysis yourself and see what you can do. That level, well, let me go back. The one always believes that can I make my fixed cost bringing down? That is the best. And can I make my margin level going up? That is the best. But not all businesses can do immediately. That level we talked enough, so I don't want to really repeat and spend a lot of time. But these are the summary kind of a thing, that what is the existing debt, what is servicing cost, cash flow shortfall, post operation, how is the post lockdown, how my cash flow is going to be. Do I need money? Moratorium, I said, not worth it. Capital restoration is a continuation of what we talked in the previous slide. Take into account all these additional costs which you will have to incur. And I would just like to make one last point here. Here, uh, when the business has changed, the market has changed, industry has changed, it would be prudent to put more equity if you have a money rather than borrowing more. And if you are open, get your friends or somebody to be an equity partner rather than borrowing from them. Or you can go in a market with the professional investors kind of a people. But in this situation, equity is more prudent than getting a more debt. So, from a finance point of view, this is very simple. Be efficient in use of your capital, be profitable, and try to grow as much as is possible. Now, in our own consulting, we have this approach in the current period. In a normal period, it was a different approach, but current is we call like a doctor's prescription re methodology. So if the government is rejigging the economy with a lot of measures, and we must be, I would say, acknowledging that the government is doing its best with whatever support it can do. We cannot do what US will do, Japan will do, or others. But yes, so what you can do with putting your business, you redesign, you reorganize, and you rebuild. This is important. Redesign, reorganize, rebuild. Most important thing. What do you redesign, reorganize, and rebuild? You redesign your product, services, new business opportunity, policies, the processes, lean organization, redefine role, supply chain, and financing structure. Focus on, again, redesign, reorganize, rebuild. Remodel your finances. We talked, I'm summarizing now. Restructure your organization, rethink the way you market and sell, restrain from a negative thinking. All is not lost. So no, doomsday theory. I know everything is gone, and what do I do? Be positive, attitude, and think about it. Replenish your own money and restart your business and life. I would advise that with the limited professional bandwidth available to the small businesses, it's always useful to engage with the professionals to build the new business plan and the new financial plan. Uh, don't be hesitant. It is always be good for you and your business to engage with the professionals. And in our own community, I would like to make an offer. I'd said it in some forum also before. Myself and my partners in marketing and people and me in a finance and a business side strategy, you contact and we will give you the new blueprint at no cost to you. Absolutely no cost. We are ready to help the community in whichever way we can help the people, and assuring you 100% confidentiality. So get in touch. Okay, so I did mention about my merchant banking business and all that. That also we do. So, and as I mentioned, we help the companies to realize their vision, analyze strategies, and we have partners who are specialized in all the three business domains. These are my contact details. I can put my contact details in the WhatsApp group as well. Feel free anytime to contact me, and I'll put my whole, the business partners and everybody into on the job to help you out and define the new business model and the new financial planning. Thank you. Wish you good luck. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Hardik, I'm done. Hardik, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hardik? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, okay, okay. Just wanted to confirm. I
Really
took
amazing
about five
session.
minutes. I took about 10 minutes more, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought let me do a justice to the task on the hand.
But frankly speaking, it was a very mesmerizing journey towards the escalating the business goals post COVID. What you have explained, it was really amazing. I personally loved this particular session like anything. Thanks a lot, sir.
Hello.
To go ahead, there are certain queries by our viewers. One query is like, what are your
Go
plans
ahead.
to get back to normal business? Yes, sir.
For me, for my own business, see, I'm in a
Yes, Kamlesh
different
bhai.
kind
Hope
of
you can
business.
hear me.
No, are you a question to
Yeah,
me?
there is a lot of plans. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, look,
overall,
I have
you can say.
yeah, I have different kinds of businesses. So my investment banking was on a hold for 3 months,
Yes, sir.
and then now it has picked up the momentum back. But we never lost the social connection with the prospective clients and the people. So we are getting back to that. My IT business has really not suffered much. The impact is only 10%, I would say, because IT is a business where we can do it from home, and everybody was working from home. And
Right.
the consulting business with the small businesses has suffered quite a bit, I would say, and trying to uh, re, uh, reach out to the people and regain as much as we can. So it's a different business, has a different impact. And we also change the model how we want to do it. Like we
There is one more query. What do you experience? Correct.
yeah.
So with that only, there is a query.
Hardik, can you just WhatsApp me? I'm not able to capture sound for some reason. Your question?
Right, sir. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, sir. This one. Now, now it's perfect. Now it's perfect.
Yeah. Tell me what is the question?
Hope you are audible. There is one more query. Do you experience business impact at 25%, 50%, or more than 50%?
Yeah.
Hello? Sir, expect the impact is as 25%, 50%, or more than 50% after COVID. Hello? Commitment? Okay, fine.
Yeah,
I'll
Hardik.
end up with the session like very awesome information with the point and topic which he has shared. SME profit viewers would thanks wholeheartedly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm coming towards the class and taken time for his from his busy schedule. Viewers, you can get all the details on www.khadaitabusinessnetwork.com. Even you can view our previous webinar on our KCTF YouTube channel. Next week, we are coming up with amazing seminar on importance of cloud computing in business by Shailesh Shah. He will be sharing his views on usage of technology in business, which will help entrepreneurs and businessmen to manage their data securely. So, friends, stay tuned with KCBF channel. Lastly, we urge our viewers to like, share, and subscribe our KCBF channel. See you next week. Till then, stay clear, stay safe.
Thank you.
Kamlesh bhai?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
thank
Thanks a
you.
lot. Thank you, sir.
No, my
Yes, sir.
pleasure. I leave the
Thank
meeting
you, sir.
now.
Thank you. Yes.